So to clarify, I don't think that women should have a bunch of guy friends that she's hanging out with alone outside of the relationship, because men, the studies show that men in a friendship are always attracted to the female.
Yeah, for sure.
But all the guys are very upset about it.
Well, I guess it wasn't that shocking to see how many people were like, you know, commenting like, "Oh, me too." Like,
yeah,
he ended up with
the best friend.
Yeah, the best friend, or the girl that said, you know, the girl that he said not to worry about.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the guys still want to say, "Oh no, like you can absolutely have a female friend." And some girls were saying like, "Oh, that's not true. You can have a male friend."
Mm-hmm. You know, how do you feel about that?
And it's just like, okay.
I mean, like you have male friends. But
I have two male friends that are straight, and I would never hang out with them by myself.
Not in a sense of like, oh, it's going to lead to some attraction, but just in general, you know, it's like
Okay, one of those male friends had said to me when we were in high school that he liked me. And I was like, no.
Is that the one who turned out gay?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And like that, and that's another thing that all the girls were saying, like, yeah, this is true. I had a friend for however long, and he finally admitted to me that he liked me. It's just, they're going to shoot their shot at some point, or they never do because they feel like they're not going to go anywhere with it. So you think that they're not attracted to you.
Yeah.
But what was interesting about the study that I kept saying to these girls who kept saying, "Oh no, my male friend is not attracted to me," is that's the point. No, that's the point, is that you don't know. Because they interviewed the friends separately, and the male was attracted to the female, had never told the female, and assumed that was just like what's going on, and the female had no idea.
Yeah. So looks at Hey Cass.
Hello.
People are agreeing with you on this.
It's such a red flag. I don't care what anyone says.
Because people value nothing. That's a good point.
Yeah, I can see that.
Same, especially if you have a partner already, you should not hang out with male friends.
Mm-hmm. The other video that I was getting tons of comments on was the one that talked about kind of why women are bringing up what's happened in the past in the relationship. So it turns out that women recall emotional events better than men. Yeah. So when something happens to trigger a negative emotion in a woman, they recall it with the same emotional intensity as when it first happened. Whereas a man is remembering more of the details of the event, the woman is remembering the actual emotions of it. So she's being randomly triggered to, you know, this is what happens. Like as a woman, and I don't know if this is what is going on with a man, if you just like have random memories that like all of a sudden snap into your head and make you mad. For a woman, that's basically what's going on.
I think I can.
You wouldn't
say
know
that.
Because I've never done.
Well, I think I could say that it's never a random thing where it's just like, and I completely understand the study makes a lot of sense. It's like when I think about even bad memories, it's very rare that I'm reliving the emotional experience of it. But I know for you, like, you know, when you do that, you're like, you know, I feel like I'm there.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And I don't think that men feel that way. Most men, I don't think men that I know have ever spoken to me in that way. It's like, oh, I feel like I'm there dealing with it.
Yeah.
So that must be an intense feeling.
Yeah.
Sure.
So women bring up what happened because they need reassurance. Again, you might have apologized when it happened, but if you are not apologizing again, once she says like, you know, I'm really still like upset about what happened, if you roll your eyes and you're like, oh my God, I thought we were over this, just stop, because she's reliving the event. And even if you didn't know that, what the hell? And all the men in the comments, I'm sure you can guess what they said, which was, oh, you're responsible for your own emotions. Oh, it's emotionally, immature that you are still experiencing that. It's your job to get over it. You should be over it already.
Then don't
You're
be in a
immature.
Yeah.
How about don't hurt your girl?
Yeah.
How about that?
Let's get to some questions real quick.
Okay.
So Giovanna said, what should I do if my significant other keeps blaming me for his actions?
Okay, that is actually straight out of this book games people play. And I don't remember which game it is, but it's basically something that people learn from maybe childhood or whatever it is. It's just a way for them to not take responsibility for their actions. And, you know, like, say you didn't take out the garbage or something like that, and he starts treating you like absolute trash, and you confront him about it, and he was like, oh, well, it's because you don't take care of the house, blah, blah, blah. Is it that type of thing? Because that is classic, like, manipulation. One of the things about it is some people really actually don't realize they're doing it unless they're a complete manipulator.
Yeah.
But you should look that up in that book, because it's so interesting when you start reading that and you see that these are just psychological patterns that people have.
And maybe, you know, call him out on that specifically and say, like, hey, like
yeah, you know, maybe even show him the book.
And it could be something in his past that's causing him to feel
yeah,
that
maybe
way.
his family did that. Like, maybe his family was the type of people that didn't take responsibility for their actions, so he does the same thing. It's a lot of that's usually the reason that the psychologists in the book had found that people were learning that behavior.
Yeah.
But I think it's so good and that, to me, like, these videos and everything, like, I like to use science-based things because I'm putting this stuff out mostly so that women can stop feeling like they're the ones who are crazy because they're being gaslit by the people they're in a relationship with.
Yeah.
And when you could show them, like, hey, listen, like, this is a common experience. What is my hearing?
No, it's okay.
This is a common experience, and you're like textbook narcissist or whatever it is, then it's kind of like, I'm mind.
You should just make a video about this.
What?
You know? Just like, you know, the
sure,
video
100%.
The video of hers where she talks about, like, you should always be on your girl's side. That was during a live. Someone asked that question, and she was like, all right, I'm gonna show you how you're not alone in this. Yep. And this video comes out, does 16 million views.
I think
it's like, now what are you gonna say?
17 million.
Rissa said, a boyfriend liking pics of other girls / following girls he's talked to before the relationship. Thoughts? So following girls, I think that's whatever. If you're already following them, that's whatever.
You're perfectly in line to ask him to unfollow them.
Sure.
What do you need to follow them for?
But I think liking it, no matter how you look at it, liking pictures is just not good in any way.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether he was pursuing them or not, just stop liking other girls' pictures.
Yeah.
I like when you put out that video and there was, you know, it was like, you know, everyone posting it. It was huge, like, a contingency of men, like, defending their actions of liking pictures, saying, oh, that's what the app is for.
That's what the app is for. It's automatic. That's not
silly.
what the app is for. And even if it was, then get off. Why do you have it if the app is for liking pictures of other girls and making your girl uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Delete it.
And the thing about, like, you were telling your friend while we were talking to her about this, it's like Instagram shows you that your man liked this picture, and it shows your friends that your man liked this picture. It's extremely embarrassing for the girl. Just because you as a man need to go you need to double tap this. Ridiculous. Like, just not being able to change that because your girl finds that uncomfortable is so childish. I can't. It's just the simplest thing in the world. That's what you want me to stop doing, and you'll be happy.
Because it's not just that. Because if it was so simple, if it were just that, then they would stop. But it's not the simple act of just double tapping on the screen. They like the thrill that they're getting from sending a message to this girl that they like them.
100%.
And they don't want to give it up, and they find these little ways to act like it's not a big deal. It is.
Yeah, definitely.
It's embarrassing.
Emma said, hi, I love watching you guys.
Hello.
Jordan said, I love you so much. Giovanna, you repeated your question again. I think we answered it. Shug said, what does it really mean when a man wants to take a break in a relationship? I don't believe in breaks, so I don't know. What do you think? I mean, it depends how, like, emotionally intelligent this guy is, but it could mean that he feels like, okay, this could mean a lot of things. For one, it could mean that he feels like you think, like, you're asking a lot of him, you're upset with him all the time, and he wants you to see what your life would be like without him. Or he wants to cheat, or he's
just he wants to see what his life is like without you, or he feels like you guys would do
or like benefit from a break.
Yeah, that you guys maybe should spend some time apart to come closer together, to
miss each other. Yeah, so there's a lot of things. I mean, I guess it depends on when when it happened. Was it during an argument, or were you going through something? Jordan says, do you think it's okay not to do TikTok and not have my body or my face there when I really want to, but my boyfriend won't let me?
Okay, so it depends. Like, I do understand a guy being uncomfortable with it, but at the same time, there's plenty of guys who are secure enough to not care. Like, I know for a fact, if I said to you, I want to go and like make money or something by like doing that, you would laugh.
Doing what?
I mean,
like
probably
dancing on TikTok or something.
Yeah, you would definitely.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, he would like definitely make fun of me only because I can't.
TikTok dances.
No, just because I can't like dance like that, and I can't really twerk. But there's definitely men who are secure with it. I do get it though. I do understand. But what reason do you have for wanting to post that stuff? Like, what is it exactly? And like, how risque are we talking that you want to go here?
Yeah. By the way, guys, if anyone's joining new, I'm reading the comments the chat and answering questions. So, and if I miss your question, just repeat it. What if I'm getting dreams of Hannah said, what if I'm getting dreams of my significant other cheating on me? Should I take it as a sign or leave it? Okay. It definitely can just be nothing. It could just be like, a general. And she added, when I see if my significant other is liking pictures of a specific type of girls as well. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean he's definitely cheating, but of course those types of things put that into your mind. Like, you're gonna have dreams about the emotion that you're experiencing. So you're experiencing the emotion of infidelity, basically. So you're gonna have dreams like that. However, so many girls have commented on the video where I said that women are psychic, saying that I had a dream that my boyfriend was cheating. I found out it was true. And they would have like very specific things. But I feel like those women also definitely had an idea, like a gut feeling of if it was real or if it was a suspicion, because there's both sides. You don't want to drive yourself crazy, but you do want to listen to your instincts. I think women should definitely listen to their intuition. Because like scientifically, like like you say in your video, it's like scientifically women are more intuitive than men, and you guys read, and maybe not just read nonverbal cues, but you see finer details and you remember finer details so strongly, so that all ties in together with your intuition. And we dream about the things that we don't talk about, right? So we dream about the things that we're not like seeing through the day. So it's like, if you're having those kinds of dreams on a consistent basis, I would take it as a sign. I would definitely. I mean, the other side of the coin is if he's the type of guy who's liking girls' pictures and everything, half the time that's either the type of guy who would cheat or the type of guy who there's just a certain type of guy. Not saying 100%, but I think what you should do is confront him about the liking of the pictures and go on my accounts and look at the ones that I talk about liking girls' pictures, and if you need some backup for the discussion, because he might also be the type of guy that's going to use I do it automatically. It doesn't mean anything. And you can see the millions of girls agreeing with her about it. Yeah. So it's not just you. Yeah. Leanna said, what's your thoughts on being friends with exes? Okay. Being friends with exes, I think really depends on the ex. It depends on the ex. It depends on your relationship. I think you should always be in a position where if you are somewhat friends with them, your partner should be able to see every single thing that has been said back and forth. I had a girl say to me like, oh, my boyfriend is friends with her ex, but he's talking to her, he's texting her. And I was like, does he let you see the messages? And she said no. Get out of here. No, that's ridiculous. Absolutely not. When it comes to me, I just say no. Yeah, but also I think a man shouldn't really be friends with his ex but I can say, like, I had always remained friends with my exes. I think it wasn't until I got married that all of that kind of went
away. I mean, one of them passed away. I would have been friends with him, but to be honest, like, I would have had him be friends with him. Like,
yeah.
But it's just, as a woman, like, you can maintain that friendship without wanting anything from them. Usually the man does want something from the female. So I think, like, men are more likely to sexualize the woman than vice versa.
Yeah, for me, the reason I'm not friends with any of my exes is just, like, you know, for me, it's like when the relationship's over, it's over. That's like a fresh start.
Yeah.
You know? Giovanna said, what if your boyfriend is, hold on one second, what if your boyfriend is the type of guy that anything I do or if I don't answer him fast, he gets mad?
I've been in a relationship like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Military guy. And it made me want to cheat on him because I felt so, I would literally be in the shower and I'd get out of the shower, and by that time he already, like, lost his mind having a conversation with himself in my text messages. Granted, we were younger. We were, like, in our early 20s. So I think emotions are heightened at that point, and you're really insecure that your partner's cheating on you because everyone is so, like, hormonal and, like, wanting, you know, attention from the opposite gender. So I would say, like, if you guys are young, then it might be something he would grow out of. If he's older,
That's
like, if he's
tough,
anywhere near his 30s and beyond,
I mean, it's also a sign of insecurity. It's
a sign of insecurity, and it's a sign of toxicity. You know, I'm talking to a girl who's, I've been talking to her for, like, maybe, like, a week or so now, like, trying to help her out with a very similar situation. You know, she's literally just with her family and sending pictures of her family. And the guy's like, oh, you're probably, like, sleeping with this other person that's in that town.
Yeah.
All this stuff. And she just doesn't want to deal with it.
I've seen, girls have shown me these text messages when they're literally not doing anything.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just hardcore insecurity for sure. I mean, we did a video on this, like, a long time ago, I think, when we first started this. Yeah. About, like, the worst thing that you can do in that situation is put your girl in a position where it feels like it doesn't matter what she does, you're gonna be mad. She's gonna end up doing something,
right? You
know, because she's like, all right, he's gonna think I'm cheating anyway. You know,
exactly. Like, why be loyal? Because it's just
and
a
this
waste
is why
of time.
men should listen to the new site. Wondrous said, why does my man, I guess, cheat on me and come back to say sorry while with her? Wow.
With her? What do you mean with her?
What do you mean by that?
Like, he says he's sorry while he's,
like, physically
with the girl? I don't know. That's crazy. Guys are doing all kinds of stuff. There's a girl that we know that's just been, like, kind of, like, tolerating her guy cheating on him, and, like, we'll bring it up at dinner. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
That people are tolerating this? Is it because of Pearl? Like, is she the reason? Like, is this the type of rhetoric that's going around that it's just, like, suddenly okay? It's like, just don't be in a relationship.
Yeah.
How weak are you that you can't just decide to be alone? Like, if you know you need to be putting it in someone so bad, be by yourself.
Yeah.
Or have an agreement with someone. There's all types of different kinds of relationships. Like,
and it's not fair to the girl. It's not fair to you. I mean, you're putting yourself in just
I think they like it. I think maybe.
I don't know.
Do you think so?
I don't think they like it. I think they're stupid. I think they want something to hold on to on the long term, not being able to process in their minds that that's not what they truly want. And so I know guys that have cheated and none of them are feeling good about it. They hate it, but they're still doing it because they're just mentally too weak to give up the relationship. And they're in turmoil and she's in turmoil. It's just silly. Skin Seattle said, yes, it's true. It's a good feeling. Sabrina says, hey, queen.
Hey, girl.
Hi, Chase. Jordan said, what do you think about my boyfriend wanting my password for all my social media?
Okay. Now, I have a controversial opinion on this. I think everyone should have access to everyone's stuff.
Boyfriend, though? You didn't give me your social media.
I was logged into... when we were dating, I literally did not bring a phone with me anywhere. I didn't want a purse. I didn't want anything. So if I needed my social media, he was logged into my account. On his phone. I
mean, we were like, I think we're a little different. We're like,
but why be in a relationship if you can't? Like, I get not doing that because I guess you have private conversation with your friends and everything.
And whatnot, yeah.
I would say yes. Him asking for the passwords is a little much. Like, if you asked for my passwords, I'd be like,
what's going on here?
Okay, chill. My thing was, I'm not doing anything. So I just logged into it. I've been logged in on your phone for like 7 years.
Yeah,
like,
we have our passes to our phones, everything.
Yeah, like he put my face on
my iPhone.
On your iPhone as soon as the feature came out. Like we had each other's thumbprints. It's just like...
But it depends on what kind of relationship you're in. I mean, from what you're saying though, because this is Jordan who asked about posting on TikTok.
Okay.
Because that, this is what I'm saying. It's very particular to our relationship, and if you can find someone that you can do that with, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone's telling you that you can't post on social media, and it seems like he has some insecurities around that area, I would not be open sharing social medias with that guy.
Right. Although, unless it's the type of thing where you all, like, your relationship has been going fine, everything's normal, then you decided you wanted to start, posting things of yourself on social media, then he feels like, why is she doing this? Is she wanting attention from somewhere else? And his contingency is, if I have your passwords, then you could do this. I get it a little bit more, but it really depends on like the whole pattern of the relationship. Does he make you feel like you're being controlled in general? Yeah. Is that why you want to be posting? Yasmin
said, I miss my ex, but it's never worked out with him. He promised a lot, and I still have hope. Should I wait?
Well, what do you mean by wait? Is, for one, like wait as in like don't be with other people. I would not wait. Do not wait. Do your thing.
Yeah.
Do whatever. Assume that it's not going to work out and live your life, because that is the only way, for one, that it's going. Like, even if you guys do get back together, that's the only way that you're going to have any leverage in the situation, because clearly it's not going well. And if you keep feeling like he's the best option in your life, then he's going to feel that, and he's going to go back to doing whatever he wants. And he's going to get pleasure from the fact that you feel like he's the best option.
Yeah. I think the last thing that you should do in these kinds of situations is wait around. Yeah, you have to...
just live your life. If it works out, it works out.
Joshua said, 5 dates in. What are your thoughts on... Hold on, I lost place. Asking her to read at a library with me.
That's really cute.
That's adorable. You should definitely do that.
If she's the right girl, then she'll think it's nice. I think that's really cute. He makes fun of me every time we walk past the public library. He's like, oh, that's where you, like, went on your lunch breaks. Because I wouldn't shut up about it. How, like, I would go there on my lunch break because I'm a loser.
Malls said, thoughts on girls BSF? I think she...
Best friend.
Oh, girl best friend. Oh, jeez. I think I'm showing my age here.
Yeah.
I think she's really respectful, but sometimes I feel my boyfriend is attracted to her. But she is really respectful.
Okay. I don't think they should be hanging out alone. Like, the guy and the girl. For what reason do they need to be hanging out by themselves? It's inappropriate.
Yeah, especially if you feel like he's attracted to her.
She might never, like, okay, I had a situation. I had, like, multiple. I feel like that's such a high school thing to, like, hang out with a girl that doesn't like you, and now she's your best friend, but you like her, and if she ever gave you the time of day, you would go for it. I feel like that's the only time that it would be, like, okay, is, like, when you're an adolescent.
Yeah.
And you're just like having friends and relationships aren't that serious. But when you're at an age where relationships are like actually going to potentially be your lifelong partner, then I do not see how your best friend is so important to your life that you need to be hanging out with them alone.
Yeah. And, we talk about it all the time, but it's like, you should be, everyone calls their partner like, oh, that's my best friend, or, my girlfriend. Your girl should be your best friend. Your man should be your best friend.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, you're literally going to spend most of your day and most of your life with this person. You should consider them your best friend. So it should be very easy to be like, hey, I find you're being disrespectful in this situation. Like if he's being disrespectful, to just like stop it.
Yeah.
Because, do you think that he's going to choose her over you? And the answer is yes, then you got a problem there.
Yeah.
And that happens.
I saw this girl saying that she is considering not marrying this guy because the girl has like always like says to the girlfriend, he's like, I'm always going to be in his life. You could potentially be temporary. Like says all this toxic stuff to her, and he refuses to cut her off. And not only that, has said that...
No, you're good.
Not only that, he said that he made her a groomsman or whatever
Wow.
at the wedding.
Yeah.
And she texted saying, oh, like, this proves it, blah, blah, blah. And she's, like, considering not being, like, yeah, do not marry this guy.
That's crazy. Nina said, my boyfriend has a longtime friend who has a crush on him and he keeps hanging out with her.
Exactly what I'm talking about. No.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Get out of here.
That's so wild. I mean, that's so crazy.
It's just absolutely no. Like, if you are in a relationship with someone who's going to be the partner for the rest of your life, that's your priority.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. If you can't prioritize that, that's not your person.
And whenever we talk about this, and whenever we talk about situations like this, we always say, like, oh, it's individual and whatever. But some things are just
Especially
non-negotiable. If you're dealing with something like that, then you're being disrespected on a consistent basis. Same thing with a guy liking other girls' pictures. You shouldn't be dealing with that.
Yeah.
Just don't deal with that.
Mm-hmm. Unless you don't care. Because a lot of girls are saying, oh, I don't care. Fine. But realize what he's doing.
Yeah. Giovanna said, dude, yes, that's how he is. I don't remember the question from before. Cam said, my boyfriend ducked a waitress. Oh.
Ducked.
That's interesting.
He said it so confidently.
A waitress on his birthday in Texas while I was in Cali. Then he came home and told me 9 months later.
Wow. I don't understand these guys who cheat and then waste their girl's time for months just to admit it. It's like maybe they know they can't deal with the guilt, but they like wait until the statute of limitations is up. Like, what do they think? Oh, it didn't happen this calendar year, so I can't be blamed.
I don't know where it comes from, but we've heard this before.
Yeah.
We've heard this before. I don't know.
I mean,
I guess it's better that he told you. I guess you could look at it like that because you don't want to not know.
Yeah.
You know, because once someone cheats, they'll cheat again.
Yeah. That's the thing. They knew it was bad. It's not like I made a mistake. What is the mistake here? You didn't know? A mistake is when you didn't know something would hurt someone.
They absolutely knew that, like you said in that video, they knew that it would hurt you. Mm-hmm. And they went ahead and did it anyway. And that's unforgivable.
It's not forgivable. I don't understand. I've never forgiven a cheater. It's only happened to me one time. I was like 16. Zero forgiveness. Immediately hung up on him, never saw him again.
Yeah. Maria said, why would my ex return to hook up if he already has a new relationship after 6 months of a breakup? Mm-hmm. This is classic.
The story as old as time.
Yeah, this is classic. As long as I feel like it always happens. Like, even it's not just with men, it's with women too. It's like as soon as they have a sense from the universe that you might be moving on, mm-hmm. they start wanting to get you back in their life somehow.
Yeah. And they reminisce on it, and they know they can sleep with you because they did it before, because it's hard for guys to sleep with people. So you can't take it as like this big romantic gesture. Like, maybe, okay, 6 months into the relationship, yeah, now the sex life is slowing down and he's romanticizing you. Mm-hmm. So he goes back for seconds.
Yeah. It does. You asked, like,
you should
why would he do that? It's because people are very primitive. Mm-hmm. Is the answer to that question. And that's all it is. That's really all it is.
I had an ex do that to me when he was in a relationship, told me that, and I always suspected that he was like a little bit shady, even though he acted like he was the nicest guy on the planet. Those are the ones you gotta watch out for because they're liars. I always suspected it. We got together a little bit, maybe a year after our relationship ended. Then he tells me that he's like seeing this girl, but it's not serious. What do I find out? They're engaged. They got married. And I'm like, and that's why I'm not friends with him anymore, because I found that out. This was many years ago. And I was like, why would I be friends with you? You clearly are not a good person.
Yeah, for sure. Wondrous Diamond. So this is the whole context of it. Why does my long distance ex cheat on me and is calling me now to say sorry because he feels sorry? He's still with her, but just wants to apologize to me.
Literally disgusting. This is the type of person that just has no self-awareness.
Yeah.
They literally are just going off of every single emotion they feel.
Yep. Exactly.
I want to sleep with this girl. I sleep with this girl. I feel bad. I'm going to tell you. They're just constantly looking for something else outside of them to make them feel good. And
I don't know if they think that they're being emotionally intelligent by doing that. I hope not. It's stupid and dumb, and it's egotistical too. Like, it's selfish. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's selfish. That's exactly what I mean by them.
That's
constantly
why he's calling you to say sorry. Yeah. It's because he feels bad, not that he feels, you know, he's sorry that you're feeling bad. He feels bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yasmin said, thoughts on someone bringing up their ex and talking. Man, I lost it again. Sorry, guys.
We need a moderator.
We need TikTok needs to figure this out. Thoughts on someone, because it's like they don't give you the full like chat view.
I know.
Thoughts on someone bringing up their ex and talking bad about her while you guys are talking.
He's still hurt about the relationship, and potentially he was the terrible one in it, most likely.
Yeah.
And he wants to recreate the narrative in someone else's mind, because in the mind of his ex, he's awful.
Yep. Yeah.
So he wants to like have someone think of him in a good light because he feels bad about how his ex feels about him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 99%.
Oh yeah.
Of the time.
He just
or
has
he's in love with
hurt
her.
Feelings. I mean, it's just like feelings that are carrying over, and I think men do take a longer time to get over it.
Yes.
For sure.
I don't think any ex has ever gotten over me.
I definitely do. I think it lingers, you know, because like when women are done with someone, they're like really done with someone.
Yes and no. I mean, they're done in the sense usually that they're not going to go back to it. Like they might have like feelings of care for the person, potentially feelings of hatred. But I think it just depends on who got broken up with. But it seems like this guy is definitely just hung up on the ex, and I wouldn't go for that.
Jennifer just said at Casiah West. I don't know if you asked a question. If I missed it, just ask again. Kathy said, how do you know when it's time to leave a narcissistic relationship?
Once you realize it's a narcissistic relationship, I would say. Although sometimes, like, depending on the level of narcissism, they might be able to, like, if they recognize it in themselves. Yeah,
I think, you know, there's a lot. What was that book that you always recommend? Or you read recently about the narcissism? There's a book. I forgot. It was talking about the different types of narcissists, but it was going like really deeper into it than just like the, you know, BuzzFeed
I think that was
articles.
Just research I was doing.
Oh, yeah. I think you should like research like the actual things, like much deeper into what is a narcissist. I think you should do that research. Not just like the clickbaity articles that are like, you know, top 10 signs that you got, not that, but to
like maybe on like Psychology Today or something like that.
Exactly. Because once you start to like identify what that is and where that comes from, then you might be able to salvage the relationship by like talking to them a little bit better about it and saying like, hey, like, this is what you're thinking, you know, or read this and tell me this is not exactly what happens all the time. Because if he's open to it, and he's not just completely defensive about it, then you might be able to, have him change. Yeah,
because he might not want to be that way. Like some narcissists
just don't know.
They refuse to recognize that anything is wrong with them.
Yeah.
But if you're not like a true narcissist, then you might see that and be like, wow, I have these narcissistic tendencies. Yeah. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah. And there, I think it's pretty rare where you find like real true hardcore narcissist. Like I saw this interview where this guy was interviewing like a true psychopath, like a true like sociopath. He had no feelings. Yeah. And the way they talk is almost like they're, mimicking they're just not mentally there.
Yeah.
It's not this thing like, oh, he's this master of psychology or whatever. So, we use these terms when we throw this stuff around, but I don't, people can change. People can like shift their behaviors at least a little bit. So I guess it depends on how deep he is.
And therapy might help.
Yeah.
Cognitive behavioral therapy.
Puerto Rico said, any advice on mother-in-laws? My boyfriend's mom always talks bad about me, but I'm always nice to her. You always get these questions.
I always get asked about this.
The nicest mother-in-law.
Yeah. For the most part. She would prefer I was religious for sure, but I think she's decided to be over it. I did have, well, it wasn't a mother-in-law. I know what it's like to have, someone's mom try and push you out. And depending on your age and how long the relationship is lasting, they might eventually get to the point where they're like, okay, I give up. But what I've said in the past is, as much as you can have, the husband do what they can to mitigate the situation, like stand their ground on it, they really should be doing that as much as possible. But if not, just treat it like everyone has someone in their family that is just...
It's just off.
It's just not going to work. And you have to just treat it like as if you're watching a movie. And it's like...
Yeah, and depending on the culture... Sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Depending on the culture, like, it's going to be much tougher. Like, you know, there's certain cultures, especially, like, you know, even brown people. It's just, like...
Yeah.
Some of the in-laws are just always just going to be nasty. You know, you lucked out with that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
She likes me better than you.
I think so. User said, why was he obsessed with me? Then suddenly I can tell there was feelings and now ghosted me.
Okay, sometimes what that is that he has feelings for you. He liked you, but he was also involved with someone else. So then he stopped being in touch with you because he is not able to anymore because he's in a relationship. Or you started to like him and showed him that you like him, and he's the type of person that actually just wants the thrill of the chase. So then when you started showing interest, he decided he was done with it. Or he was love bombing you. Or he dropped his phone in a puddle and then didn't have your number saved and
ghosted you
ghosted you for 3 years, and then hits you up on Facebook 3 years later and says, oh my God, I finally found you, because that happened to me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, there's a lot that goes into this, and sometimes it's, you know, it also depends on where you are in your life as well. You know, because we've heard, we've seen situations where it kind of made sense for the guy to stop, like, talking that much. Yeah. Depending on how you interpret certain signals too. I think as a general, like, statement, you know, as a general, like, piece of advice when you're dating, never be the one that's taking it that seriously.
Yeah. Never show your cards.
Like, never show your cards.
Like, be nice, be yourself, be 100% yourself, be loving, whatever, but don't say the thing unless you are sure. Like, it should get to the point where the two of you are so just, you can't take it anymore. Like, you have to express your feelings for that person. Yeah. Until then.
But also, in addition to that, as a woman, just let the guy do it. Like, you know, let the man take the lead in that. If he, you know, and he will.
They're more likely to be the ones that get scared off, because they're the ones that are scared of not being able to spread their seed at will.
Oh, wow. He kept saying, same girl. He kept saying he sees me in a dream. But in a way, like, I'm in his head so much that he fully ghosted. I mean, some guys are just talk a lot and don't mean anything.
Yeah, some guys just want to create an emotional reaction in a girl, so they say all that stuff. I guess it's kind of like love bombing or whatever. Or he's not ready for a relationship and he realized he liked you, so he cut you off, potentially. But usually they'll just keep sleeping with you and then just be sleeping with other people. So
Jordan said, my boyfriend doesn't trust me, but I do everything I can to make him trust me. I don't have anything exposed or not good that I can bring up. I respect him a lot, and somehow I feel like I'm giving up a little of myself and my success for him. There's the same guy that doesn't want her on social media.
Okay, so I'm assuming what you're wanting to post is things that will, in a way, like, make money or whatever it is for you. Yeah, I mean, if you're feeling that way, it really depends. You have to just have a really serious conversation about it and say these things to him and tell him how you feel about that, because he might not want to be in a position where he's taking that away from you. But you need to get down to what it is exactly he's afraid of happening.
Yeah, you need to get down to that insecurity. And also, you know, it's not helped by the content that's out there for men.
Because they look at it. The other thing is, you have to understand, he knows what men are thinking. He knows that there's going to be guys on there, like, pleasuring themselves to you, basically.
Well, that's not what I was getting at.
That's what I was getting at.
I'm saying, like, as far as the trust and the insecurities that men are having these days, it's perpetuated. Like, people make videos about this and stuff to make money off men's insecurities. Right. So they're gonna sit there and they're gonna talk about how you shouldn't trust your girl, because it's one of the easiest things to get men to latch on to their content and their stupid advice is like, you know, women always cheat, women do this, women do that, you can't trust, and so on.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, it's ridiculous. And the algorithm, if you watch something like that, then the algorithm just keeps feeding that to you, and you're just caught in this hole. Mia said, going from friends to partners and dealing with your partner's changes in values and insecurities.
So basically you were friends first, you got into the relationship, and now are you saying he's kind of changed as a person, or that he's now feeling insecure and making you feel controlled and he's acting jealous?
Yeah, maybe some more information.
Yeah, some specifics. But I do think it's good to start out as friends, so like what that person is actually like.
So the girl that said the guy ghosted him, I said I was too tired to do the deed, and he got offended and took it the wrong way and ghosted me. Okay.
This guy is just awful. Just don't even deal with him. This is the type of guy that's just like in it for, there's no taking it the wrong way. He just wanted sex from the situation. You didn't give it to him, so he was out.
Don't say that word on TikTok. We keep getting lives canceled.
I know.
Star said, I needed this.
Glad to be here.
Joshua said, who do you think has more good options in general, men or women?
Men.
Yeah, men have more good options.
And end of story. Like, I understand that, like I'm 33. I've seen how things have changed in both men and women. There's some girls, I'm not going to say every girl is amazing. Some girls are like mean to me. And I'm like, please stop giving women a bad name. But I do think that women generally are just more emotionally intelligent and kinder and willing to behave in the relationship.
Yeah.
And men are getting worse by the day, and men are getting worse by the day, and I feel bad for women. I feel so bad for girls that are like in the dating,
like the type of the type of stuff that these dudes are posting and they're listening to, and they think that they're hitting some kind of epiphanies every time that they post it. And it's all these like Andrew Tate whatever stuff about masculinity and alpha male, and it's just the most like unfounded, like it's just the wrong way to think about it. They're ruining themselves and they're ruining their relationships and just making themselves undesirable. Yeah. And they think what they're doing is elevating themselves, which is literally the words they use. They're becoming higher value, and
they're just less and less desired, and everything they're doing is perpetuating what they're against. So they say like, oh, girls like don't want to be with like a nice guy, so then they become mean, and then and then girls don't want to be with them and they continue to tell themselves that they're a nice guy. Then they get to a point where girls only will deal with them because they have money, because they've become such awful people. And then it feeds into the rhetoric of girls only want guys with money. Like, no, it's just that your personality is so horrendous at this point that would be the only reason to deal with you.
And it sucks because there's no like positive, I don't know, it's more effective when it comes to like marketing and the videos that are out there to say these outlandish things, and to say like, it's to blame women for the lack of their success, and so they can look at it and say, okay, yeah, it's like girls want this and they're becoming worse, and that's why I'm not being successful. So they can internalize that and at least feel like they're, even though they're stagnant in their life, they're just like, oh,
they have something to blame it on.
Exactly. And that's what is being fed to everyone these days. Puerto Rico said, my boyfriend constantly tells his coworker he's single and he lives alone and no babies when it's not true.
How do you know this information?
Yeah. That's just, I don't even know what to say. That's just terrible. That seems like
his coworker, even if the coworker is not female, that is just really weird behavior. But yeah, I'm so curious to find out how you know that he's doing this.
Daisy said, any advice with a sister-in-law who doesn't respect or acknowledge that you are his wife? How do I develop that respect? Wow.
Doesn't acknowledge. Wow.
Yeah, it's tough.
I would say, depending on, you probably just, if you really care to do it, then just sit her down and
Do you
like,
actually care?
Yeah, I mean, you might just decide whatever. If you don't have to deal with her that much, then just decide whatever. You're just not going to let this affect you. But maybe have the, you know, also, is your partner not intervening at all? Like, is he not saying, hey, like, no, this is my girl? I don't understand that. I feel like I just
not
don't
even girl,
understand.
Wife. That's crazy.
Wife, right. I don't understand men that don't defend their partner tooth and nail to their family.
Yeah, and
Like,
I don't think you need to be the one that's building the respect there. I think your man should be the one.
That's true.
Moving that needle, you know, in the right way. Chris said, me and my partner are in the roommate phase, and I don't know if he's interested in coming out of it.
So when you say that, does it mean that you guys have just gotten so comfortable with each other living together that it's just not intimate anymore? Or do you mean you've broken up and you are now just living together? Because I see a lot of that, which I don't know how people do.
Because she said roommate phase.
Roommate phase, okay. I mean, if you feel like men are just not good and like taking initiative in these situations, they kind of just like go with whatever the momentum is. So I would say if you're noticing it, try and be the one, if you want, be the one to bring the relationship out of that. For one, like initiating doing things outside of the house if you can. Or also just try not to talk about it with him. Just like don't talk about it. Mentally see the relationship, like try to see him as just like a new person. Because the way that you interact with him, he's going to respond to. If you constantly keep looking at him like he's just comfortable with you, like you're not going to be yourself. You're not going to be the way you would be towards someone that you like and is new. So treat him like he's new and treat yourself like you're new and just brainwash yourself into that and just start doing that. Maybe wear like skimpy little things around the house. But you probably have to be the one to set the tone in that situation.
Men get real comfortable. Yeah. And
women get comfortable too, but I just don't think men are great at being like, hey, the relationship is going in this direction, let me change that. They're just not really there.
Anya said, you guys helped me get the guy I was dating to be my boyfriend. Thank you.
Okay, interesting. I'm curious to know what you did. Let us know.
It says Jock became the number 4 member on the team. I don't know what any of this TikTok stuff means, but if that meant something, thank you for that.
Yeah. I've never joined anyone's live before, so I don't know what anything is.
Dottie said, I got a heavy question. I'm kind of embarrassed.
Give it to me.
I'm projecting a trauma-bonded relationship on a guy with whom I work with.
So by projecting, do you mean that you guys are like trauma bonded by?
She's crushing on him, she said.
Right, but when she says she's projecting the trauma bond on it, have you guys gone through something together? Is that what's going on and you're feeling feelings that you don't want to feel, or you feel like he isn't reciprocating? A little bit more info. Although I will say it's really easy. Like, it's going to go away. Crushes always go away. But just like think of him doing like really unattractive things.
Kiad Uti said, wait guys, the videos that are popular right now of Andrew Tate are over 10 years old. I know, it's crazy. And it's still perpetuating. People are re-uploading this stuff constantly.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's other people in that space, in that realm.
They're everywhere.
The same thing.
They're like cockroaches.
They're just spinning off what he and some other people started, and it's like, I go into this. Yeah,
the amount of times I've been called Andrea Tate at this point.
You know the thing is,
like as if I'm saying something so insane, like, oh, be respectful of your woman, like don't like other girls' pictures. Yeah. How horrendous! What a feminist.
It's like I feel like the big problem is men are not thinking past this viral clip. They're looking at it and it sounds like it makes sense because you can make anything make sense if you just say it in a twisted way. Yeah. But even the thing that you said about nice guys, like, oh, you can't be a nice guy. That's not what women like. Women don't like a guy that doesn't have a backbone. That's all it is, right? It's not that women like mean men. But they don't take that little step into thinking like, oh, it's not about being nice. It's about women like a guy that is confident in himself. And it
isn't going to just say whatever you want to hear because they're so desperate for you.
Exactly. And they're like, oh, well, I'm being extremely nice, so I have to go completely off and be mean. And then, I don't know. And guaranteed it doesn't work for them. So I don't know how they're still talking about it.
Because they're just getting dopamine hits off of watching the videos.
Yeah.
I'm writing this down as a topic.
Oh, she was defending Andrew Tate. She was like, his values, morals, and beliefs have changed drastically. You should look up his interview with Casiah. Absolutely not. Mia says
he was punching women.
No. Let's not even get into it. It's yeah. Let's see what comes out of his ongoing case. He feels more strongly about this relationship compared to past ones, as I do. But I think us being losing that. What's the best way to break a man with a huge ego?
To break him like a horse. Oh, that's a loaded question, because I would probably be really, really harsh about it. Depending on how mean that person is, don't do what I would do. But I'm thinking about...
You should say what you would do, because you are harsh about it, and just like dial it back just a little bit so you land somewhere in the middle.
So it depends. If you're in a relationship with this person, or like starting to get into it with a person, I would literally just have a conversation with them and ask them about how they feel about themselves. Because I don't think that they're going to be able to sit there and say all the things that they act like they think. Because they don't. Because anyone with that much of an ego is hiding some insecurities.
Yeah, so much of an ego that you see it is insecure. Yeah, no one walks around talking, boasting about themselves. That's not insecure.
No, literally sit him down and be like, I feel like you feel really strongly about yourself. Like, what is it that you feel like is better than you than other people? And act like you're genuinely curious. And you should be genuinely curious. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think that's great. I don't think that's how you go about it.
If I was really trying to be...
way of doing it.
It depends. If it's just a guy that's one of the typical guys at a bar that's being nasty and mad at me for like talking to the girl that they're talking to, so then they're, saying nasty things to me, I'm not going to be so polite.
Right. Yeah.
Might throw my drink on them. You never know.
Husband has to talk to his sister. Yeah, absolutely. Sorry guys, lost this again.
Sorry guys.
Lolita said, how to keep a man's attention past my physical appearance.
Well, depends what he likes.
Yeah, I mean, is he telling you that he needs you to be more intelligent?
Yeah, like where are you getting this from? Maybe like your own feelings. But I would say, honestly, this is just like the typical advice, like baseline advice for everyone. Meditate. You need to meditate, because if you are feeling like maybe like everyone has depth to their personality. That's the way to get under someone's skin, in a way that's not just physical attraction. So you really need to come into contact with yourself and not just whatever is on the surface that's being fed to you by whatever's on your phone or people around you or whatever. If you get to a point where you're able to be the type of person that's grounded and meditative, you're going to have so much to offer to other people, because just being around you will be
just more fun and more easy. Like easy.
It will just feel good.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing for men and women, where it's like, with partners, they act a certain way and they kind of like present this image of their personality, when the thing that's attractive is the personality of who you are. It's like, who you are when you're around just like your siblings or your best friends, and you're just having fun. And I see all the time that people can't, switch into that when they're with someone that they find attractive, and they don't want to mess it up. They don't want to show their true self to people. But that's what's attractive to people. I mean, if you're feeling this way, if you're feeling like people aren't, seeing who you really are, then like you said, you just got to get a little more grounded. Yeah.
And also it probably is a sign that you're the type of person that is not being present with someone that you want to be attracted. You want them to be attracted to you.
Puerto Rico said, and he kissed her. Oh, so the coworker kissed her, messing with others too. I gave him a lot of chances. Even though we have a first baby, I don't know what to do anymore. But the thing is, he's constantly messing with females. I mean, this is, this just seems like a textbook case of like, if you can get out of this relationship, you should probably get out of this relationship.
I mean, some people for some reason just decide that they don't care and they'd rather just be in the relationship. They don't want to deal with the breakup. If it's making you unhappy, though, it's not going to stop making you unhappy. And you're going to, like, you really have to look at your life and be like, I'm not going to live forever.
Yeah.
And for the sake of the child, like, you know, my parents separated when I was like 19. And I remember when my mom told me, I was like, why did you wait so long? Oh, like, a child does not need to grow up in a relationship of their parent, like, with their parents not having a good relationship.
And their parents not loving each other, for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, you don't want to raise a child in a home of resentment.
Yeah. And Casiah turned out terrible. Good sign. Chris said, I'm not sure if I want to come out of the phase. We fight so much, but we have a family to think about. Oh,
is that the roommate phase?
Yeah, the roommate phase.
So you have children, if that's what you mean by have a family together. I
so.
mean, you know, if that's the case, you're not ready. You're not 100% sure you want to leave. Give it another shot.
Yeah, give it time, for sure.
Because relationships go through such bad phases, especially like marriage, having children. Like, you probably, anyone that you talk to that's been married for any amount of time is going to say, like, yeah, there's times where I didn't want to be with that person.
Yeah.
Just try it out.
Kia said, it's true, nice guys finish last. This is the one that told us to watch the Andrew Tate thing. It's
See, this
true.
you're literally proving the rhetoric that we just said you're proving. Do you really want to perpetuate the rhetoric that nice guys finish last?
It's not
so
about
so
nice
do
guys.
you want to be with a guy who's not nice?
Yeah.
No, you don't. You want a guy who's confident in himself. Do not conflate nice without confidence.
Yeah, there's plenty of nice guys that are confident and grounded and attractive because of that.
Yeah.
And there's nice guys that, you know, get walked all over. And sure, like, you know, some women, obviously, as a woman, you don't want to be with a guy that looks like he's getting walked all over by everybody and doesn't have a backbone. Sure. You know, you could say that you don't want that, but to say that you don't want a nice guy because nice guys finish last is just, it's just so wild.
Yeah.
And, you know, we don't associate with anyone that's not nice.
Yeah. And
like, are all the guys in your
successful.
life just mean and you love them because they're mean to you?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
This is the type of stuff.
Ubia said, Chris said there's a difference between confident and cocky, though. For sure. Yeah,
100%. No, cocky is actually the opposite of confident, I think. It's just blatant insecurity.
Joshua said, Andrew Tate, manosphere man point is that women wait at a finish line to pick the winners. Level up.
I don't know who
Women
you're trying.
Okay. I don't think you guys realize how bad. It was a man saying this. I don't think you guys realize how bad it is dating for a woman. We're around women that are trying to find good guys.
Yeah.
All the time. It's not a bunch of women out here just like waiting for the successful men to walk by to latch onto them and just being free in the meantime.
Yeah, they're literally just waiting for a guy who's not going to ghost them, who's going to text them consistently, that's not just going to be obsessed with their base needs of procreating.
Yeah.
That's all they want.
And also, sure, let that be the point that they're trying to say. Let's say that's the point that they're trying to make. That does not help men in any way. The only thing that it does, it puts women in this category for you to just hate. And they get women on their shows, these guys that are just like, you know, not the cream of the crop of women, and just ask them all these questions, and the women are like, yeah, you know, I want a guy that's making $10 million, and then point at her like, look, that's all women. No one is out here saying this. It's just not, they're just showing you what you need to see for you to latch onto their content.
Exactly.
And if you're not realizing that, come on. Yeah, we can literally line up a bunch of women and, you know, saying the same exact thing, saying, I need a guy that has $1 million. I need a guy that has $2 million, and be like, hey, look, it's all women that are doing this. And I could also show you a bunch of women that are saying the complete opposite. Yeah. That sure, like,
I just want a guy who's not going to cheat on me.
Yeah.
Or my man is cheating on me. What should I do? Are you not listening to the chat right now?
To, you know, like, even your friends, it's like, they want to be able to combine their income with a guy. They want to see how, once they get together, how their life is going to progress. Those are the conversations that women are having.
Yeah.
It's not this, there's a small subset of women maybe that are thinking that way, where they're like, oh yeah, I want to, sugar daddy or whatever.
Yeah.
That is a very, very, very tiny part of the population.
And then there's some girls who are making jokes about it online, which makes you, like, all you're seeing is the internet.
Yeah. And
go
if that's
talk
the kind
to some
of girl
people
that you
and
want,
be nice.
If that's the kind of girl that you want, then watch the content.
Yeah.
Level up. Do whatever you have to do to get the kind of girl that would
that you hate.
Kia just said, no, let's talk about it because I respect you guys and it'd be cool if you could set aside your judgment. I used to judge him too until I listened to the podcast.
Okay, here's the thing.
First of all, we know Andrew Tate way more than you do.
Yeah.
We know who he was before. I don't want to say too much here.
We know people that know him, and we know his real life and what's actually going on.
We know exactly what he does. We know where he comes from. We know the path that he took to get to where he is. We know who taught him.
We literally know the person that taught him.
There's nothing that you can tell us about him that we don't know. There's nothing I'm going to listen to on a podcast that I don't know.
Yeah.
We know these people personally.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, as people that know them, don't listen to them. Because they're telling you things they don't even believe in themselves.
Yeah, they don't believe, like, okay, yeah, he's saying things that are not the same things that he said in the beginning because he never believed in that stuff to begin with. He was not living that way.
He was not living that life. He was absolutely not living that life.
So now he's going back on it. Everything he did, he made a whole group, a whole generation of disgusting women-hating men and children, basically, for his own profit. 100%. And don't get it twisted, this was monetary. Like, everything he did was specifically for money.
And it was specifically following certain books, certain guidelines that were literally taught to him at certain seminars that friends of ours gave. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And let's leave it at that. Iraq Doll said, I have been in toxic relationships and I'm currently talking to a guy who is very masculine and mature. And I know that he is very right for me and matches me perfectly. But I felt a lot of emotions at first towards him, but now it's different. But I still want him. Any advice? By the way, Daisy said hi.
Hi. Okay, so you feel differently in the sense that you don't like him anymore? Is that what the concern is? If that's what it is, then I will say you're never going to feel the exact same way that you felt about a person in the beginning. Oh, yeah? Because, yeah, I literally can't stand you now. You're not going to feel the same way because that's not our biology. Like, we get, and I know, like, everyone probably, like, wants to throw up when I say dopamine at this point because I'm so upset because it runs our lives. You, at least, he's, like, calls me the dopamine queen. You get spikes of dopamine when you have an uncertain idea about what your life with a person might be. So you don't know exactly what's going to happen. It feels very exciting. Then once you start to get to know the person, it's not as exciting anymore because you're kind of getting the reality of the situation. So you're not going to feel the same way. So I don't know if that's what you mean by this, but if that's the case, then everyone should know that about themselves because this is what happens in every relationship. People will be like, oh, well, like, it's not the same. Yeah, it's not the first hit of the drug anymore. If you can't know that about yourself, if you can't know that about yourself, then you will never have a successful relationship. Or not even know that about yourself. You don't know that about human nature.
Yeah, for sure. Pigley said, what if he gaslights you with everything?
Get rid of him.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things that
I hate the gaslighting so much. This is what brings me so much pleasure, is all of my DMs being like, thank you so much. He made me feel like I was crazy. No, like this, because for some reason there was this big hole in the internet where, it needed to be talked about, all the things that men are gaslighting women about, because there's tons of content unbeknownst to women about how to gaslight your girl and things that are saying that women are wrong for whatever it is, but nowhere are women being represented and being told that this is not okay. and they're alone in the relationship. They don't really have anyone to talk to. So this is a way of like seeing, okay, like the comment section is full of people that are dealing with this. This isn't okay. They message me. They're like, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Get out of here with the gaslighting. Don't tolerate it.
Only Tina said, what are your thoughts on your man having a girl BF? We answered this a couple of times. We don't think it's good if you can't hang out with her.
Yeah, if you can't hang out with her, then it's red flag.
Amanda said, I've told my boyfriend my work schedule like 27 times, and he still asks me when I'm off. Thoughts?
Okay. I remember there's something psychologically, I don't remember what it was. I read something about this, and there's like something about men's psychology that this is actually something that goes on with like time, like them not being able to remember like
that's true.
Time.
Yeah.
Because you're the same way.
I'm the same way.
Every time. Oh, when do you get off work? Oh, when do you get off work? 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I mean, I haven't gone to work in years, but I remember just being like, are you actually...
It's just, I don't, you say it, I don't know. I don't think about it. I really don't think about it.
I don't know what it is. I would just laugh at him about it. It's not that big of a deal.
Maybe it's just I don't know.
I don't know
the answer to that question.
But it's
probably not
you're
something
not alone.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maddie said thoughts about a non-married couple but living together. I mean, I'm guessing it's for religious reasons, but yeah, my mom was not. My mom is like deeply Christian, so she wasn't happy when me and her were.
We lied about it, and then we went to family dinner, and I didn't remember my address. And I was like stumbling over it because I hadn't lived there in so long. But then,
we found out,
Well, no, we got married like really soon.
That's true.
After that.
Yeah.
And that honestly was kind of one of the reasons I wanted to get married, because I was like, I don't want to I don't want to break up. I don't really want to call him my boyfriend. And I don't want his mother to be constantly.
It's very organic, yeah.
Yeah, like I just don't want to be in that situation. But I think you should definitely be living with someone before you get married. Living with someone is a completely different relationship, and you need to know what that is before you get married. And if it is religious and you feel morally uncomfortable with it, it's literally a document from the government. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. KRT is still going on about Andrew Tate.
Okay.
And people change or whatever.
Sure,
you're
and that's
watching
fine.
videos. We know the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just real.
And
just
that's fine if you
that.
feel
That's
that way
all.
and you want to watch that. But I'm just personally
and go for it. Yeah, if it's helping you out, if his content is helping you out.
Like, okay, say for instance, like someone was abusing someone, and then they talked and they are kind of like encouraging people to abuse other people, and then they decide that's not okay anymore. And then they start saying, oh, well, that's not okay. I'm not going to listen to that person.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's not a good person. I'm sorry. He can change, and good for him. I hope he does change. But me personally, I don't want to hear it. And I'm never going to look at this person and think, oh, this is advice. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe say it's egotistical of me to think that I'm just not going to get any advice from this person.
Someone just gave us a gift, and maybe there was more. Thank you guys. You really don't have to do that, but we appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
I'm having troubles with my BF of 2 years. We're gonna do a few more questions, guys. We're gonna run through it because we always say we're gonna do only an hour of this, and it's already been like an hour plus.
Oh my god, it's already been an hour and 15. I'm just you know what it is, guys. The battery on my phone is probably gonna die.
That's another thing. I'm having troubles with my boyfriend of 2 years. I've never dealt with a man who argues as much as he does. It's exhausting.
Wow.
You said something interesting. I don't know if we ever put out like a clip or something.
I said something interesting?
It's rare, but you said that you can always tell when someone is arguing and, without wanting to change. They're arguing just to be stubborn.
Yeah.
Rather than...
Yeah, you can tell if you're with someone who wants to be right. And I remember I had someone in the past tell me this. They were like, you would rather be than have a good relationship. And that's basically the point. Like, you can tell if someone is more concerned with being right than for the relationship to go well. So you should ask him that. Just be like, do you want to be right, or do you want us to be happy?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Just see how that pans out for sure. Should make a video on that. That's a good one.
Alrighty.
Iraq Doll said, yes, thank you so much. I love your advice, by the way.
Happy to give it.
Kristen said, what do I do with my BF but didn't finish? What made you want to give people relationship advice?
It was not intentional, to be honest.
It wasn't super planned. I mean, we do this all the time.
That's
like
true.
One of the reasons that we started this podcast is like we just sit there and we just talk all day.
Yeah.
And we give people advice all day.
And I counsel, like, we counsel people.
Yeah.
You know, I was in private practice for 3 or 4 years or something.
Yeah.
It was for nutrition, but the only reason I went into nutrition is so I had an excuse to counsel people without it being psychology, because I just really don't believe in like labeling people with this and that and giving them drugs and stuff.
Yeah.
So we started to, well, he was doing videos, like he was doing the book stuff.
I was doing videos because like I wrote this Buddhist book that, you know, we co-wrote it, and
he admitted it.
He hit top 10 on Amazon, so it was like a big deal, and people were calling and texting for advice and all that stuff. So we started doing videos, and then it was just like, all right, like this is getting a little, you know, I'm sitting there staring at the camera. He was
not himself on camera.
Yeah, so we're just like, let's just start a podcast.
Yeah, and we did it, and it really was to be like, you know, it's New Society podcast. It was really about like, we feel that society is going in the wrong direction. People are not happy. There's things that people should be informed about and have a source. We really don't like the sources of help that are out there.
Yeah.
Jay Shetty is really not hitting the right. It's kind of just like prepackaged little clips of information. It's not deep enough, in my opinion.
It's not deep enough, and it doesn't give you practical advice. That's the problem with all of the people that are out there in this space. It's like, you'll watch a video, like you'll watch one of Casiah's videos, and I think one of the reasons that she like blew up so quickly is because she's so direct, and the advice is just like in your face. Like, if this is happening, then this is probably what's going on. Everyone else likes to like really sugarcoat everything that they're saying
and just give like a general
thing to make you feel better, but it doesn't actually give you solid advice to actually move you forward. It just gives you like this little hit so you can go through your day, but it doesn't like fix anything.
Yeah, or it's way too more like Sadhguru, which is like, sure, that's fine, but it's a lot of times not relatable, and again, not actionable. So yeah, we started doing that. And then the things that just worked really well on social media was relationships. And I actually was trying to steer away from it because I didn't want to pigeonhole myself into that. But because of the fact that I have so much to say about it, and I really have so many women and even guys telling me, you know, I'm really helping them see what they're doing wrong in the relationship, we just decided to lean into it.
Yeah.
But
and she's helped a bunch of relationships, broken up marriages.
Oh yeah, I've broken up marriages, but I've also saved marriages. So my karma is like balanced out at this point.
It's not balanced out. If they left a marriage because of you, then
there's
something
I'm
wrong.
I'm kidding.
Kristen said, my BF has to have a full Saturday or Sunday to game and only sees me 3 times a week. What do I do? Are you talking about video games?
If you want to talk, okay, so the last podcast we had before this, I believe it was.
I think we went into, but we're actually gonna do some videos on YouTube about this particular topic, because video games are like, this is a question that you get all the time in your DMs from girls. Same situation.
Yeah, we already have it written down to talk about and like make like maybe a 10-minute video about it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and like the next week we'll have like the full answer for you.
But for right now, just don't get too offended by it, because it's just like a really common problem that's going on.
Yeah.
And I've seen it be much worse than just the 1 day a week. So
yeah.
But we'll talk about it. But also, yeah, take listen to the end of the last podcast, and if you want some like immediate advice about it.
All right, guys. So we're just gonna take a couple more questions, and then we gotta call it, because I don't want this camera to die.
Yeah.
Riffin said, what are your thoughts on married couples being okay with or agreeing to live in separate houses?
Hey, I mean, it's kind of cool.
It's cool.
I think it's kind of cool. It's interesting maybe to keep things, you know, because then you're going to see each other. I think that's kind of a cool idea.
The reason she's saying that is she has this stupid idea.
What?
That we're going to get like 2 apartments in a building, and she's gonna live in one of them, and it's just gonna be cute for her to come visit.
I said that one time, but I think it's an interesting idea only if you're close, you live like really close to each other. Otherwise, I think that's just like you kind of are just always going to feel like, is this person cheating on me? Is that why they did this?
Yeah, I guess if you're agreeing with it, that's it. I think we're out of questions. All right, great.
Okay.
That was just in time. Thank you guys.